Papa. So let's try that again with a fully charged battery this time, an empty SD card, some lighting, and nobody in the house. Hey guys, welcome to this week's thingamajig vlog where we're just going to sit in front of camera and talk, I suppose, about some YouTubers and people that inspire me. So without further ado, let's take it away! First of all, I think one of the YouTubers who inspires me the most is, I beg my pardon, Philip DeFranco. I've followed him pretty much ever since he's been on YouTube, so like 10 years, and first of all that's just really impressive, you know. Secondly, he inspires me because if he makes a mistake, he'll hold his hand up to it and he'll correct himself, you know, and he has no qualms of doing that. And third of all, just, you know, how well researched he is, and everything that he puts out is always of a really good quality and a really good standard. And I think that kind of comes with his longevity and, you know, being able to accept that who you are and who you were, like, things change over time, you know, and you change over time, and that he's had quite like an open change, you know, and just everything he does is so well balanced, or seems well balanced from the outside. Obviously I don't know the guy personally, so I can't really say too much, but yeah, his longevity, his dedication, you know, his ingenuity of, you know, the trials that he's faced throughout the years, and how he keeps on bouncing back and keeps on coming back stronger and stronger is something, you know, that is just incredibly, you know, inspiring. I think I'm going to use that word a lot in this video. But yeah. Number two, it's kind of like a two-parter really. Firstly, it would be Jenna Marbles, just because I find her comedy hilarious, you know, from the how to trick people into think you're good looking to even more like, you know, the podcasting that she does and the radio when she's on the radio, and, you know, just all of those different things, and how like her level of not give a fuckery is just amazing, and I think that makes her really like strong, you know, and her not inward, like her willingness to just to do whatever, and she really listens to her fans and respects her fans, and I think, you know, that's something that we can all strive to be like in our lives. And then secondly to that, probably Julian Solomita is somebody else who inspires me. I was introduced to him through her, because obviously it's her boyfriend and things like that, and, you know, their relationship is something that really inspires me, that to seek out and find, you know, and that's what that is, you know. But just kind of like how he's always willing to take on and try new things, like last minute trips, and really like push yourself. And you know, one of the main reasons for starting my YouTube channel was to push myself, and I feel like I've been quite lazy and neglectful of that. And you know, you just have to keep on keeping on. So yeah, those two I guess are in one. Again, and added on to that fact, just kind of how, you know, they just go about their normal lives. I think that's really important too, and how that's interesting to people. You know, I think nobody wants a Michael Bay film anymore. People want to see what you do in your day-to-day life and have that kind of peek behind the net curtain and things like that. And, you know, I like how they keep everything quite separate. Their channels are their channels, and, you know, and that's just about their lives. And obviously then they have the podcasting thing where they kind of have a bit more of opinion, you know, because it's a more open forum, and that's something that I want to strive towards with this, is having, you know, a podcasty format where opinions and everything like that can be flexed and open, and we can talk to other people about current events and, I guess, you know, just random topics that might get people quite het up and heated in a grown up manner. So yeah. Kieran C Vlogs, another British YouTuber, you know, looks like he's just starting out and starting to pick up speed, and yeah, it's really nice to see. It just goes about his normal life, and it's nice watching his content evolve as I'm beginning to put more effort and more time into my content, you know, and it's just, it feels like having a contemporary when I watch his vlogs. You know, there's all these kind of, like, as much as I'm inspired by these other vloggers and YouTubers who I've been talking about, it's a bit daunting looking at somebody who has, like, you know, 100,000 subscribers, 1 million subscribers and things like this. And like, Kieran C's got, he has got a following. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head how many subscribers he's got, but he has got people watching and people following him, you know, but it's not so far off in the distance that it's like a foreign concept, you know, so it's really nice to, you know, and a small British YouTuber as well. I think that's something really important, you know. He goes out to York and does local things. I think that's really great, because I think sometimes it gets taken for granted that there's other places in England outside of like London and this, that, the other. So yeah, really just nice to see some different content that is probably the same as a lot of other people's, but it's just something I really respond to. So, but Bearing, the anti-SJW, whatever you want to call him, I just kind of call him the bear who calls people out on their shit, and you know, kind of dissects their arguments. I'm not anti-SJW. I'm not for social justice warriors either. I think everybody has their own shit and that they need to work on. You know, no matter what side you are, you're not perfect. But I think, you know, he provides a really great way for certain members of both communities to not live in an echo chamber, because that's when your own thoughts and ideals become really dangerous, is when, you know, you surround yourself with people who are just going to echo the same sentiment and don't challenge you on what you're doing. And as much as people don't like him or people love him and things like that, I think the videos he makes are funny and well informed. You know, he's a little bit crass and things like that, but that's the world that we live in, you know. Everyone loves a good F word, and, you know, he's doing what he's doing, he's picking up speed, and it's really interesting to see and watch, you know, how his content's kind of, everybody says that his content has changed, but I think it's exactly the same. It's just evolving, you know, and he's having to work to tighter and tighter deadlines, and, you know, having to respond to things a lot quicker because of the social media construct that we live in, you know, that old news is old news like in 40 minutes now, you know, and being able to respond to some of the things as quickly as he does and as well informed as he does is something that's very impressive to me. And again, is somebody who will, you know, point out other people's mistakes, but then if he has made a major mistake of his own, he's owned up to it. So that's something I really respect and really respond to. Finally, another couple, so Sid and Dina. I only recently have just started watching them. They're a British couple. I watched their Rama vlog, and, you know, that would be I would guess it would be like the Islamic equivalent to like Vlogmas, and I always think I'm quite an open and well-read and well-educated person, and I like to challenge my own thoughts and beliefs. And when I stumbled across their vlogs, I was kind of like, okay, well, give this a go. Like, it's maybe not something that I'd usually watch because it's not something that I think applies to me, but, you know, just going through and, you know, seeing how they deal with the month and just their general day-to-day life. You know, it's not even the fact that they're Muslim. Like, that's part of the reason why I initially watched, because it was something that I don't have inside my circle. So it was, or is heavily inside my circle. So it's always interesting to see, you know, people of other cultures or faiths. You know, even though that I am heavily agnostic, you know, and how they do and what it's like to lead their life. I think it gives a really personal and in-depth view, you know, and even Dina's, you know, more beauty orientated in the lookbooks and things like that, and Sid helps with that. I think it was really interesting, you know, and just a really good example of British vloggers living like a normal life, not this charmed sort of, you know, YouTube life almost. Like they still do normal things, and it doesn't all, you know, they have bills to pay and things like that, and they like moving house, and it's all just presented really wonderfully. And yeah, definitely hope so they were really well earned subscription. You know, I definitely like 4 or 5 videos in subscribed, you know, and even their question and answer videos, I know they're predominantly about questions and problems that, you know, young Muslims face, and me being someone who is, you know, a young queer person, it was really interesting young queer person who has their own thoughts and feelings and shit to deal with, and you know, I have all of my stuff going on. It was really eye-opening and really, you know, interesting to see that people who I assume can sometimes be completely different to myself and have a completely different set of problems, still there are common running themes, and that's another thing that I noticed through that question and answer videos. So yeah, Sid and Dina, give them a watch, give them a subscribe. Yeah, probably a slightly controversial one. I guess that's it for today. You've probably had enough of me swinging on this chair back and forward like this. I hope I didn't look too blind. I'm trying to do some sort of fancy lighting thing, and I have 3 lights pointed right at me, and I'm a little bit blind. So if I looked a little bit spazzed out, that could be why. Yeah, I'm slowly but surely coming together on certain things that I want to put on this channel. I'm sorry that the uploading's been a bit sporadic at the moment. I've not really wanted to touch my camera just because I've got some, you know, personal stuff that's going on, and yeah, hopefully this will be it, and we can start getting into things a bit more regularly and having things that are a little bit more deep and meaningful. Maybe, you know, we go on a date sometime, we have some lovely dinner and discussions and things, but yeah.